church on this rock. I'll build my church. So
no, Luke 22, Luke 22, 32. He's talking about that. You believe that's a divine protection. I didn't say that. I don't know where you heard that. But could you answer the question? Do you believe that's a divine protection? He didn't say that. Do you believe that's a divine protection?
Yeah, we're talking about Luke 22.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Do you believe that's a divine protection, monster?
Yes, but who's it pertaining to?
Yeah, let's say it's pertaining to Saint Peter himself, right? Do you believe that Saint Peter was swung away from the true faith? We're not talking about that moment. We're talking about after this prayer. Do you believe
Because it's a prayer for a future time anyway. The prayer is referring to what takes on in John 21 when he's given, like, feed my sheep, right? The point is that when you are converted, I restored to the faith, strengthen your brethren, right? So that it's referring to a future time, and the promise is not for right there at St. Peter. That would be a horrible waste of Jesus, because as everyone knows, St. Peter apostated and denied Christ after this. None of the fathers understood this promise of his unfailing faith to be then, but in John 21 when he received the pontificate, which is why they're inseparably linked. The pontificate that Peter received is inseparably linked to the strengthening of his immovable faith.
Yeah, I suppose I'll have to read more emphasis on Luke 22 from the patristic sources. I feel like the major this whole conversation is our disagreement over.
So do you believe that Peter? So do you believe that Peter's faith could fail, like after that promise, or not?
Again, if I grasp that Saint Peter's faith remains intact up until his repose, what would this do to prove the paper?
No, we're not talking about it. No, we're not talking about if it remained intact. We're talking about could he go away from the faith after that promise, after that protection that Christ granted him. Do you believe it's possible for him to fall away?
And we're just talking about Luke 22, or are we talking about how this links to the 6 Ecumenical?
Yes, yeah, we're talking about Luke 22. We're just talking about Peter. We're just talking about Peter, brother. We're just talking about Peter.
If we're just talking about Peter, then no, it can't.
Okay, so you believe that verse is divinely protecting him from going away from the true faith, right?
Yeah, that's what that verse is doing.
Okay, so why that remain unblemished, according to this verse, is St. Agatha tying this prophecy to the seat of Peter and his successors in Rome?
He could, but I don't see that how tying this into this verse gives us the conclusion that Rome will never fail. Because
you just agreed that Peter couldn't fail according to this verse. You just agreed to that.
Right, again. You can allude to scriptural verses which had a specific context to a specific person, right, in order to give honorifics to a specific apostolic see, which remained unblemished up until that point in the 6 Ecumenical.
No, it's not talking. Oh my goodness,
I don't see how that premise follows you.
It's fine.
I'm just saying I don't think that premise follows you.
I see what you mean. Let's say the divine promise was to Peter, right? The divine promise was to Peter, and as Peter says, you believe that, right?
I challenge the idea of the predecessors. I would say it can be demonstrated. So to be fair, I believe it can be demonstrated from time to time up until the second.
I don't want to run. Okay, do you believe? Do you believe that, for example, the popes claim that the predecessor of Peter has the same prerogative? I can show you 20 popes at least that do that.
So I can show popes that believe that they.
Okay, so are they just, this is not just popes, right? These are your own states. Are they lying? Make your shit up. I hope you don't think so, right? So Pope Leo, Agatha, Hadrian, etc., right? Galatius, whatever. But they all say
that they have the divine promise of the Lord himself. And they have the same prerogative that Peter has.
Das höre ich gern.
That includes Luke 22, right? And the divine promise, which they claim in the same letters they write, and the same dogmatic dogmas.
They held
So
themselves
Rome
to the same
cannot
standards.
fail. Yes or no?
I believe that we've demonstrated that. But you want to have this conversation prior to talking about the filioque. I just came here to talk about the filioque.
That's fine, but can you answer the question, bro? Like,
Yes.
One second, can I show you, since you want to quote about the Council of Constantinople 3, and be dishonest, can I show you a contradiction between your paradigm and your so-called ecumenical council?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, watch it. I want to hear you talking the next.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What was you gonna say? Only the Webster. You're not stupid. You're smart, right? This is like ABC. You're not stupid. So that's why I'm trying so hard, because you're not stupid at all. You're a very smart guy. I can clearly hear.
Yeah, I'm good faith. I'm sure I can even.
You can see. Okay, but you
I think you are good faith. Wait, hold on. I think you are good faith, but like I don't know what we're doing at this
Der Truck
time
hat
because
Schwierigkeiten.
when it says never has, you agree that's like true, and it's saying it's true, we never have it, and then it says we never will, according to divine promise. So like the correct healing will be because of the cause, and you know. St. Theodorus do not make the same point, by the way. It's just to make clear how like the fathers clearly understood these like phraseologies. St. Theodore says explicitly that it is never going to fall according to the promise of him who cannot lie. So like the obvious point of them to this, you either have Rome has not and cannot fall, and that is a
Um die
found
Ecke
as a
steht
matter
ein
of faith,
Krankenwagen.
because Christ
Ich
taught
bring
it.
dich
It's
hin.
not just like a glaze, it's like a matter of faith, that Christ did this, cannot be falsified in a council. Or you have not been. Rome can fall and has fallen. That would be a contradiction. So any way you chop it, it would just be like unreasonable. I can quote St. Theodore here, he says explicitly, with this they have torn themselves away from the body of Christ in the supreme see, in which Christ placed the keys of faith, against which the gates of hell, I mean the mouths of heretics, have not prevailed, and never will, until the consummation according to the promise of him who cannot lie.
Ich hoffe, es war nicht zu heftig.
Where is the church to be found? Is it to be found
Ich mache es wieder gut.
in communion with Rome, or is it
Yes.
St. Bishop, the saving confession of faith?
Those two are inseparably linked. Peter is inseparable from his confession.
St. Ignatius